Have you ever heard of someone who seemed perfectly fine one day and then suddenly suffered a stroke the next morning? That's exactly what happened to Mr. Peterson, 74 years old. He walked every morning, watched his salt intake, and even ate blueberries every single day, because he heard they were good for the heart and brain. But one morning, his wife found him slumped beside the bed, unable to speak, and when the doctors ran tests, they told her something shocking. It wasn't just age, they said. It's what he was doing wrong every day without knowing it. Blueberries can help prevent strokes. That's a fact backed by real science. They're loaded with compounds that protect blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and even support healthy blood pressure. But here's what most people, especially those over 60, don't realize. It's not just what you eat. It's how you eat it. There are 5 deadly mistakes people make with blueberries, mistakes that cancel out their benefits, or worse, quietly raise your risk of stroke. And most seniors make at least 2 of these without even knowing. So if you're someone who adds blueberries to your cereal, drinks blueberry juice, or eats them by the handful because you want to stay sharp and prevent a stroke, this video is for you. Because what I'm about to share could mean the difference between staying healthy and independent, or waking up one morning to a silent, invisible danger already at work in your brain. Now, listen closely. The 5th mistake I'll share later in this video is the most dangerous. It's something you might be doing right now, thinking it's perfectly healthy. But it could be the very reason blueberries aren't protecting you the way you hoped. So whatever you do, don't stop watching before we get to it. And if you're serious about keeping your brain sharp, avoiding stroke, and staying active in your 70s or even 80s, go ahead and subscribe now. Because every week, I share simple, science-backed habits that help seniors live stronger, longer, and healthier. But if you skip this, you might miss the one thing your body needs most. Let's begin with what makes blueberries so powerful, and then we'll reveal the 5 mistakes to never make. Part 1. The science behind blueberries and stroke prevention. So why are blueberries often called a superfood for the brain and heart? It's not just because they're low in sugar or that they taste good. It's because of something far more powerful inside them, something your body desperately needs as you age. Blueberries are packed with natural plant compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give blueberries their deep blue color. But more importantly, they help protect the walls of your blood vessels from damage. You see, as we grow older, our blood vessels become stiffer. The lining inside them, called the endothelium, starts to weaken. And when that happens, blood doesn't flow as smoothly. Pressure builds, plaque forms, and tiny clots that used to be flushed away start sticking around. That's how strokes happen. But anthocyanins help fight that process. They reduce inflammation. They neutralize harmful molecules in your blood, called free radicals, that can silently damage your brain and heart over time. And here's the exciting part. Studies from top universities have shown that people over 60 who eat blueberries regularly may experience improvements in blood pressure, memory, and even the flexibility of their arteries. One study followed a group of older adults for 12 weeks. Those who consumed 1 cup of blueberries a day had significantly better blood flow to the brain, and their memory scores improved as well. It's no wonder some doctors now recommend blueberries as part of a daily routine for stroke prevention. But here's the truth no one tells you. Even with all of those benefits, blueberries are not magic. If you eat them the wrong way, if you mix them with the wrong foods or store them improperly, you can lose almost all of those protective effects. In some cases, you could even raise your blood sugar or increase inflammation without realizing it. So the real question is this: are you eating blueberries in a way that actually protects you, or are you unknowingly making one of the 5 deadly mistakes? In just a moment, we'll start with mistake number 1. It's one that nearly every senior I've worked with has made, and it might surprise you. But before we go there, ask yourself, how do you usually eat your blueberries? Do you eat them fresh or frozen? In yogurt or juice? Morning or night? Because the answer matters. Now, stay with me. What you'll hear next may completely change the way you look at this tiny fruit forever. Part 2. Mistake 1. Eating too many blueberries at once. Mistake number 1 is simple, but it's also the most common. Eating too many blueberries at once. Now, you might be thinking, wait, aren't blueberries good for me? How can I eat too many? That's the trap. Just because something is healthy doesn't mean more is better. And for seniors, especially those with high blood sugar, prediabetes, or diabetes, this mistake can quietly cancel out all the benefits. Here's why. Blueberries contain natural sugars. Not much, but enough to spike your blood sugar if you eat too many in one sitting. And when your blood sugar rises quickly, it triggers a response in your body that promotes inflammation, stiffness in your arteries, and oxidative stress, all of which are key contributors to stroke risk. Let me repeat that another way. When blood sugar goes up too fast, your blood vessels suffer. And that's exactly what you're trying to avoid. So how much is too much? Most research recommends about 1 cup per day. That's roughly a small handful. Not 2, not 3, just 1. But the key is how you space it out. If you blend 3 cups into a smoothie and gulp it down in 5 minutes, your body isn't going to thank you for that. Instead, try adding half a cup to breakfast, maybe in oatmeal or plain Greek yogurt, and the other half later in the day, perhaps as a snack with a handful of almonds or walnuts. This slows the sugar absorption, protects your blood vessels, and gives your body time to actually use those antioxidants. Mr. Peterson, the man we mentioned earlier, used to eat a full pint of blueberries in one sitting every afternoon. He thought he was doing the right thing. No candy, no cake, just fruit. But he didn't realize that the sudden sugar rush, especially at his age, was quietly putting pressure on his arteries day after day. It's not about fear. It's about awareness. So if you're eating blueberries daily, that's a good start, but slow it down. Keep your portions modest, and always pair them with protein, fiber, or healthy fats to protect your heart and brain. And now that we've cleared that up, get ready. Because mistake number 2 is something people do without even thinking. And it involves a product sitting in almost every grocery store across America. And chances are, if you've bought it, you've already made this mistake. Don't miss it. It could be the biggest reason your blueberries aren't working the way you think they are. Part 3. Mistake 2. Drinking blueberry juice. Mistake number 2 may sound harmless, but it's quietly working against everything you're trying to do. Drinking blueberry juice. Now, on the surface, it sounds like a great idea, right? You're getting the power of blueberries in a quick, easy drink. No chewing, no prep. And the label says 100% juice, maybe even no sugar added. But here's the problem. When you juice blueberries, you lose the very parts that make them powerful, especially the fiber and skin. Those are where the antioxidants live. That's where the blood pressure-lowering compounds are most concentrated. Without the skin and fiber, what you're left with is mostly sugar and water. And even if it's natural sugar, your body treats it just like any other sugar, especially when it enters your bloodstream quickly, without the buffer of fiber, fat, or protein. Worse still, many store-bought blueberry juices aren't made from real blueberries at all. Take a moment and check the label next time. You might see things like grape juice concentrate, apple juice filler, artificial blueberry flavoring, and even food coloring. That's not real fruit. And it's not protecting your brain or heart. In fact, drinking processed blueberry juice can cause your blood sugar to spike even faster than eating a candy bar. Let that sink in. You're trying to do something good for your health, but the way it's packaged, what looks like a shortcut, may actually be raising your risk of stroke, not lowering it. Now, if you absolutely love blueberry juice, here's a safer way. Make your own at home, using real blueberries. Blend them whole. Don't strain out the pulp, and drink it slowly, preferably with a protein-rich meal. That way, you keep the fiber, slow down the sugar absorption, and give your body the chance to use all those antioxidants the right way. But even then, whole berries are better. Chewing them sends a different signal to your body than gulping them down in liquid form. It slows digestion, it helps your stomach prepare, and it gives your brain the time to react. So the next time you reach for a bottle of blueberry juice, pause. Ask yourself, is this real food or a shortcut that could be setting me back? And now that we've uncovered mistake number 2, it's time for a third mistake, one that seems innocent, but might actually block your body from absorbing the very nutrients you're counting on. This next one happens during meals, and it's especially important if you're taking any kind of supplements or heart medication. We'll dive into that next. But if you've found this helpful so far, now's the time to hit that subscribe button. Because next week's video, we're talking about 5 fruits that may seem healthy, but could actually increase your stroke risk if you're over 65. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Part 4. Mistake 3. Eating blueberries with iron-rich foods. Mistake number 3 is something almost no one talks about. Eating blueberries with iron-rich foods. Now wait, iron is good for you, right? Especially as we age. It helps carry oxygen in the blood, keeps your energy up, and supports your immune system. That's true. But here's what many people don't realize. The antioxidants in blueberries can actually interfere with your body's ability to absorb iron if you eat them together. Let me explain. Blueberries contain a group of natural compounds called polyphenols. They're amazing for reducing inflammation, protecting your brain, and lowering stroke risk. But polyphenols can also bind to iron in your food, especially non-heme iron, which is the type found in plant-based foods like beans, spinach, lentils, and fortified cereals. When polyphenols bind to that iron, your body can't absorb it efficiently. It passes right through you. So imagine this. You're doing your best. You're having a bowl of oatmeal with blueberries for breakfast, maybe adding a handful of spinach or nuts. Sounds healthy, right? But without realizing it, that mix might be robbing your body of the iron it needs, especially if you're already borderline anemic, tired, or low on red blood cells. And for many older adults, iron deficiency is a silent problem. Now, does this mean you should avoid blueberries? Absolutely not. It just means you need to time them wisely. If you're eating a meal rich in plant-based iron, like beans, tofu, quinoa, or spinach, wait an hour or two before or after eating blueberries. Give your body a chance to absorb the iron first. Or, if you're taking an iron supplement, don't wash it down with a blueberry smoothie. Use plain water instead, and save your berries for a different time of day. It's all about maximizing the benefits, not canceling them out. And don't worry, we're keeping this simple. You don't need a complicated schedule. Just a little awareness goes a long way. Mr. Peterson, the man we spoke about earlier, had a spinach and blueberry salad almost every afternoon. It sounded healthy. But he also struggled with low energy and cold hands and feet for years. Turns out his body was never fully absorbing the iron he needed. It's little things like this, things no one warns us about, that make a big difference as we age. And now that you know how polyphenols can interfere with iron, you're already ahead of the curve. But here's where things get even more serious. Mistake number 4 is by far the most common, and it might be hiding in your freezer right now. Something you picked up thinking it was healthy, but it's doing the exact opposite. Stay with me. The next few minutes could change the way you shop for groceries from now on. Part 5. Mistake 4. Eating low-quality frozen blueberries. Mistake number 4 may be sitting quietly in your freezer right now. Eating low-quality frozen blueberries. Now, let's be clear. Frozen blueberries can be just as healthy as fresh ones. In fact, freezing preserves many of the antioxidants we talked about earlier, especially if the berries are frozen shortly after harvest. But here's the part that most people, especially older adults, don't know. Not all frozen blueberries are created equal. Some brands are picked before they're ripe, meaning they haven't fully developed the antioxidants you're hoping for. Others are stored for months in subpar conditions, exposed to temperature changes, air, and even chemicals that degrade their nutrients over time. Worse, some frozen blueberries are pre-sweetened. That means sugar has been added during processing, sometimes even syrup or fruit juice concentrate. And if you're trying to manage your blood pressure, protect your arteries, or avoid a stroke, that added sugar could be doing the exact opposite of what you intended. Now, think about this. You buy a frozen bag of blueberries thinking you're doing something good for your brain, your heart, your body. But, in reality, you might be consuming something with less nutritional value and more hidden sugar than you bargained for. So how do you protect yourself? First, always read the label. Look for ingredients. The list should say just one thing: blueberries, not sugar, not juice, not natural flavors, just blueberries. Second, buy organic if possible. Why? Because blueberries are often sprayed with pesticides, and since you eat the skin, you eat those chemicals too. Older adults are especially vulnerable to the long-term effects of these toxins. And third, check the source. If your frozen blueberries come from a country with loose food safety standards, you might want to think twice. Look for berries sourced from the U.S. or countries with strong agricultural regulations. Now, I'm not saying you should throw away your frozen blueberries, but I am saying be smart, be selective. Treat your brain and heart with the same care you'd give to someone you love. Because once damage is done inside your arteries or brain tissue, it can be difficult to reverse. And Mr. Peterson, remember him? His wife was shocked when she looked at the label on their go-to frozen brand. Sugar was the second ingredient. She had no idea. Don't wait until something happens to start paying attention. And now, we're down to the final mistake. Mistake number 5. And it may be the most dangerous of them all. Not because of what you eat, but because of what you don't do. This one has less to do with blueberries themselves, and everything to do with how you treat your brain. Most people miss it, and missing it could cost you more than just your mobility. It could cost you your memory, your independence, your life as you know it. Let's talk about it next. Part 6. Mistake 5. Relying on blueberries alone. Mistake number 5 is the quietest, but the most dangerous of them all. Relying on blueberries alone. Now, this might sound strange. After all, this entire video has been about how powerful blueberries are, how they can lower your risk of stroke, improve blood flow, protect your brain. And all of that is still true, but the truth is, blueberries are not a cure-all. They're one part of a much bigger picture. And that's where many people, especially those over 60, make a mistake that puts everything at risk. You see, when we find something that works, something healthy, we often cling to it. We build our routine around it. And we think, I eat my blueberries every day, so I'm fine. But stroke doesn't care if you eat fruit. If you're not sleeping well, if you're dehydrated, if your blood pressure is creeping up, if you're skipping protein, avoiding movement, or ignoring stress, all the blueberries in the world won't protect you. Let me say that again. Blueberries help, but they can't carry the weight of your entire lifestyle. Mr. Peterson thought he was doing everything right because he had his daily handful of blueberries, but he was also sitting for 8 hours a day, drinking too little water, and skipping dinner more often than not. His heart was trying to send signals. He just didn't know how to listen. So, what can you do? Start with blueberries. Yes, they're a powerful step, but pair them with other brain protective habits. Get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. Drink water steadily throughout the day. Keep your blood pressure in check. Move your body, even if it's just 10 minutes of light walking after meals. Your brain is like a garden. Blueberries are just one nutrient. But the soil, the water, the sunlight, all of those matter just as much. So don't fall into the trap of believing that one healthy habit cancels out everything else, because it doesn't. And if you've stayed with me this far, you already understand more than most people do. You're not someone who just wants a quick fix. You want to protect your brain. Stay strong. Stay independent. You want to live, not just longer, but better. Now, in just a moment, I'll wrap up everything we've learned in a simple, clear summary. But before we go there, let me ask you something. Have you been making any of these 5 mistakes? If so, you're not alone, and you're not too late. The body is remarkable. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, it can heal, it can recover, it can rebuild, but only if you give it what it needs. And that's exactly what we'll cover in this final section. So let's take a moment to bring it all together. You've learned why blueberries are so powerful, how they can support brain function, improve blood flow, and help protect against stroke. But you've also learned that how you eat them matters just as much as whether you eat them at all. Let's review the 5 deadly mistakes. Number 1. Eating too many blueberries at once. Even healthy foods can raise your blood sugar if you overdo it. Number 2. Drinking blueberry juice instead of eating whole berries. Juice strips away the fiber and floods your body with sugar. Number 3. Pairing blueberries with iron-rich foods or supplements. It can block your body from absorbing key nutrients. Number 4. Choosing low-quality frozen blueberries loaded with sugar or chemicals. Always read the label. Simplicity is safety. And number 5. Relying on blueberries alone. No single food can protect you without the right sleep, hydration, movement, and mindset behind it. The good news: every one of these mistakes is fixable. Starting today, you can eat smarter, live stronger, and take real steps to protect your brain and body for the years ahead. No matter your age, it's not too late to change. Now, let me ask you, if this video opened your eyes even a little, imagine what the next one could do. Next week, I'll reveal 5 healthy fruits that may secretly raise your stroke risk if you're over 60, and one of them is probably in your kitchen right now. So, if you haven't already, now is the time to subscribe. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Because if you don't, you could miss the one piece of advice that might save your independence, or even your life. And if you found this video helpful, take a second to like it. Not for me, but so this message reaches someone who needs it. Someone just like you. And finally, drop a comment below. Which mistake surprised you the most? Or better yet, what change will you start today? This is your moment to take back control, not with pills, not with fads, but with real food, real habits, real health. You've got this, and I'll be right here, helping you every step of the way.